Dude, I've dropped 7 pounds in a month.
Wow, nice.
Yeah.
Just from not
Just
eating.
from packing. Yeah, I mean, it really has been the packing and the fact that I've been eating like shitty ass small frozen dinners because everything's packed already.
Right.
So then I do wake up hungry the next day. I'm like, holy shit, I'm hungry. But I mean, I jumped on the scale like 2 days ago and it was 193, and I was about 202 at some point.
Damn.
So yeah, so I guess maybe 9. I know, like everything fits way nicer now. Like this is great. And I haven't been drinking as much, so
Oh, yeah. That helps.
Helps a lot.
that helps a lot.
A podcast about bourbon and the ones who drink it. This is Bourbon Matters. Welcome to Bourbon Matters.
welcome to Dan. He didn't get kidnapped.
I did not get kidnapped.
Yeah, Dan did not get kidnapped. Luckily. I'm Jake.
Yeah,
I'm Dan.
I am Putin PDL. I did not kidnap Dan.
So yeah, Dan, where'd you get back from?
I got back from Slovenia. I heard you guys talking on the last episode, and I was not anywhere close to Ukraine. I was actually on one of the days we got done hiking, we drove through Italy.
Oh, wow.
So not even
Nice.
anywhere close. The little town we stayed in, the mountain range to the west, on the other side of that was Italy. The mountain range to the north, the other side of that was Austria.
Jeez.
Oh, okay. So it's pretty,
That's pretty Western Europe.
yeah.
Yeah, it's not anywhere
Eastern
closer.
Europe?
No.
It's considered Western, like they consider themselves Western
I
Europe?
don't know.
I would imagine.
They
if
just
it's
consider
next to Italy.
themselves
Oh,
not
it's a former
It's a-
Soviet bloc, right?
That was Yugoslavia.
Oh, okay.
That makes sense.
They were the
Okay.
far northwest part of former Yugoslavia. So it's only really been a country independently since 1991.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense. Back when they split.
Yeah, they were one of the first to split away from, I think them and Croatia might have been the first two to split
Yeah.
from Yugoslavia.
That's EU, right?
Herzegovina or
Yeah.
whatever the other one was.
Yep. Yeah, they're all EU. It's a NATO country.
Yeah.
So I was safe.
You were safe. Yeah.
Yeah.
It looked pretty. You took some good pictures.
It was pretty. We were in the Julian Alps. So the same thing that goes through Switzerland, Austria, all that fun stuff.
Yeah.
Um,
Dang.
The
Man.
food and beer was really good because they have, with being so close there, they have a lot of Italian
Yeah.
influence in their food, and they have a lot of German influence in their food.
Northern Italian, right? 'Cause-
Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially beer.
Yeah. Because see, it's amazing how this is unrelated. It's amazing how different Southern Italian and Northern Italian food is. It's actually pretty damn different.
I don't know too much about.
Yeah. I've never been to Italia.
Italy.
It seems way too touristy for me. It was
fun.
It was nice. So when I got in there Saturday night really late, and on the ride I had from the airport to Bled, which is where we stayed, the guy driving me asked, he goes, "Well, why'd you decide on Slovenia?" And I don't like heavy touristy areas. I always try and find places that are more.
Yeah.
I mean, when we hiked to the highest point, it was a 6-hour or 7-hour hike that day, and we ran across 2 people on the trail. Like that's, if I'm going to be out in nature, don't want to be waiting in line to go up some of these steep slopes.
Yeah.
But I said I picked Slovenia because it doesn't seem touristy, and he said, well, Bled is very touristy in Slovenia, but most of the world still doesn't know too much about it.
Yeah.
And then our guide said that 2022 has been they just passed their peak season. He said this was the most busy year for tourism they ever had, and the government has already said they're not going to allow more hotels to be built. They don't want it to
They
become.
don't want it to become like freaking Venice.
All the lakes and the rivers are crystal clear.
Yeah.
I saw
Everclear.
basically no garbage the entire time. They want to keep it nice. They're very proud of their country, but they want to keep it nice and clean. And tourists are assholes. So,
different philosophy. My vacations tend to be with urban settings, a lot of people.
yeah.
Not touristy areas, just life, you know, where people are living.
Yeah. And if you were following our Instagram at Bourbon Matters, I know Jenna Ray was taking some of my pictures. It was right before November 2019. I went to Patagonia hiking.
Yeah.
And we got to the top of a mountain, which was the hardest hike, the most physically demanding thing I've ever done in my life. We got to the top, and our guide congratulated us all there with a bottle of whiskey that he brought and chocolates. And it was some cheap, shitty whiskey, but I had just walked up.
Yeah.
We just hiked 7.5 miles, including we went uphill a 1/4 mile and a 1/2 mile of distance.
Yeah. Damn.
And it was a cool experience. And from then I started doing this thing where I would take shooter bottles with me and take, not just going to top of mountains, but unique settings in some of these places. I was going to take shooter bottles of whiskey and have a little sip of American whiskey, American bourbon. And it was funny.
I think all bourbon is American.
Yeah, that's true.
Export American culture.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it was funny because everyone started making fun of me, like always, because I always got to make sure I have my shooter bottle of whiskey with me. But our Slovenian guide and my roommate, who was from the UK, basically we started a thing where I would take the first third, the guide would take the second third of the bottle, the little shooter, and they would take the final third, and or my roommate would take the final third. And I took Woodford, a shooter bottle of Woodford, for the first day, Four Roses the second day, Willet Rye the third day.
That's so cool.
Bardstown Discovery
Oh yeah.
the fourth day, and Buffalo Trace the fifth day, and then New Riff the sixth day. So I mean, I brought good whiskeys with me.
Yeah, no
and
kidding.
We are all, unfortunately, weren't a big fan of the New Riff, but everyone, the two other guys, that Bardstown Discovery was just insane,
Yeah,
and we
so
took that we were 6,700 feet at the top of that mountain peak when we had that.
That's out of that sampler pack, right?
Yeah. And they're like, this is a really, really good whiskey. I'm like, well, I'm glad you said that because the bottle is $140.
Yeah, no kidding. I'm glad you liked it. 145.
Yeah. But no, it was fun. They've become very big fans of American whiskey. The guy from the UK had said he had somebody that wasn't a big fan of it. The Slovenian guide had never really had. I mean,
They don't have Jack?
they have Jack and Jim.
Okay.
And it's expensive as hell, I'm sure.
No, it wasn't.
Really?
Because I wanted to get our guide, as part of his gift at the end, I wanted to find him a nice bottle.
Yeah.
And I spent almost 2 hours walking around the entire damn city of Bled to try and find something that wasn't Jack or Jim.
Wow.
And the only thing I found was a bottle. It was Jack, but it was a single barrel select.
Oh, nice.
And it was 39 euros, and it's dollar for dollar right now,
Yeah.
so it's $39 for
that's-
that.
Yeah.
That's
pretty
about
decent.
what it should
Yeah.
be.
What is it here? Yeah.
I mean, the biggest deal I found was when we were at Woodford on our trip. They had Baccarat that they were selling for $2,000, and I saw it for 1,600
I know. I saw
at
that.
duty free.
1,600 euros.
But it's dollar for dollar
it's
right
one
now.
for one
Is it?
now.
Yeah. When I was
Huh.
over there, it was 1 to 99 cents.
Damn, I should have taken it.
I know. That's what I told them. It's like, dude, pull the trigger. What
I
the
wasn't gonna
hell?
buy it. You're the one that almost bought it for $2,000.
I would have paid you if you brought it. That's nice. Duty free.
They had 2 bottles there.
Shit.
No taxes, nothing.
Now I gotta find it.
Oh, man.
I know. I told him. I messaged, dude, pull the
Well,
trigger.
the
Like,
problem
that's
was I
cool.
was 7 hours ahead of you, so by the time you probably
Yeah, it
saw
was
the
like-
message,
It
I was,
was
Yeah.
I
like
was
3 in the morning for Dan.
Yeah, I was somewhere over the Mid-Atlantics.
Damn, that's awesome. Well, good.
But
If
yeah.
I ever hike like that, I'm doing lines of cocaine. I'm not doing whiskey, or maybe like
That probably would
like
have
a
helped
rock,
me.
a rock of crack cocaine.
It was
Just anybody have a lighter? Okay.
Slovenia is steep. If you don't like walking hills, don't go to Slovenia. It's either up or down. There's no
Yeah.
flat. It is.
So they're like on that side of the globe where just everything goes down. Like this.
Well, so like the Alps are completely different than all the like the Rockies because the Alps eroded down. Like the Rockies came up out of the ground when the plates ran over each other. This eroded down, so it almost looks like the Grand Canyon
yeah.
where you're on top of one peak and then it goes down
Yeah.
2,000 meters and then back up 2,000
Damn.
meters.
Is it all, that's all from water?
Yeah.
Rivers and,
Rivers and glacial melt, stuff like that.
Like ancient oceans, like the Grand Canyon, or no?
Yeah, kind of.
Okay, that's
yeah.
pretty
It
cool.
looked very Grand Canyon-y.
Probably an ancient ocean at some point.
Yeah.
Nah, that's awesome. Very cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, we took American whiskey over there. Everyone liked it, and that's all that matters.
Yeah.
Bourbon matters.
Spread the good gospel.
Yeah. Conquer foreign lands. Conquistadors.
Speaking of bourbon,
And good bourbon.
And matters.
good bourbon, and matters. Tonight we are drinking a special whiskey. This is a barrel pick from Gold Eagle of Eagle Rare.
Gold Eagle Rare.
Is
I like that.
picked out by Jake from Gold Eagle. This was one of like I think 200 total bottles that they had at the store, and I think me and Jenna got the last like.
You had 19 when I went.
Yes, I mean we were there a little bit before you.
But I think Jake said that you guys went like an hour before me.
Yeah, so they maybe had like 40 when we were there.
Yeah. Yeah, he had 19 because I remember I ran into the store and I go, one, I didn't know that you had gotten one. I thought you were asking me to get you one too. So I run into the store. I go to Jake. It's like, Jake, please tell me you still have Eagle Rare. He's like, oh yeah, I have 19 bottles. They're in the bag. He's like, I only have the what is it, a 500? I forget what it is.
375.
375. I only have the 375. So I'm like, dude, that's perfect. And I go, I know it's one. Can I have two so I can take one to Jake? He's like, oh no, he was already here. So it's like, okay, never mind. So anyway, yeah.
So yeah, I mean, this is maybe the only single barrel Eagle Rare I'll ever get to taste in my life.
Yeah.
So I'm pretty excited for it.
Yeah.
Yeah, we went to Buffalo Trace. We talked about it in the past couple episodes. I don't know what else we need to cover on
The
distillery.
we talked it to death already.
I looked into it a little bit today to get a little more history on it. And it's interesting because before the early 2000s, it was actually bottled at 101 proof.
Okay.
And they were using it as basically direct competition with Wild Turkey 101.
Wow.
Oh, that's interesting.
Very interesting.
But they did that. I mean, it's always been the same mash bill and stuff. But
it's one, right? Mash bill one.
Mash bill one.
Yeah.
Which is going to be the same as your Taylor's, same as your Buffalo Trace.
Yep. Yeah.
But no, it used to be higher proof, but then they dropped it down to 90.
And right now it's still 90, right?
It's still 90 now. It's still got the 10-year.
Oh yeah.
It's still got the 10-year age statement, but it's on the back of the bottle.
Yeah.
They wanted the front to be extremely clean. That's why they didn't want to put a label on it. It's all etch.
I love the bottle.
They wanted the bourbon the color of the bourbon to stand out, which is why they did that. But they just wanted to leave it very, very minimalist on the front.
Yeah.
So most people put the age statement on the front because it's a big thing.
To brag about the 10 years.
Eagle, everyone knows that Eagle Rare is a 10-year.
They don't need to.
So they put it on
These
the back.
days they don't need to do crap about it. Like,
For a while, they actually didn't have they took the 10-year age statement off
really?
before
Why?
Buffalo really took over.
Oh, okay.
But it was still a 10-year-old bourbon,
I believe.
or possibly.
Yeah. But that's kind of the interesting stuff I found is that it was actually a different proof back in the day.
That's interesting.
Yeah, that is cool.
Yeah. I love the bottle for Eagle Rare. It's one of my favorites. It is clean. It's smooth. It's just nice. Clear bottle with, like you said, the etching of the eagle.
It's as
beautiful.
Elegant as the whiskey inside of it.
Very elegant, exactly. It's as elegant as this podcast. I love Eagle Rare.
Swirl your whiskey like a fancy snob.
Exactly. We talked about it already in 2 episodes already in Kentucky, and then last week when Dan was traveling the Eastern Russia, he could see Sarah Palin's house from where he was.
Dude, I went horseback riding with this guy that didn't want to wear a shirt. It was really fun in Russia.
You escaped 2 different gulags,
Is he
right?
also a jiu-jitsu champion or something?
This is a very friendly person, though.
Yeah, oh yeah, no, he's mobilizing 300,000 troops or something. I love Eagle Rare. I think I gotta say, I'm on my third sip. It's a little different than what I normally remember Eagle Rare to be. It's a little, I don't know, it's a little more acidic than, again, it's a barrel pick, and Eagle Rare is blended, right?
It is now, though. I don't know if it's still this way or not. I was confused on if it was. So back when it was 101 proof, it was a single barrel.
Okay.
It's not a single barrel anymore, but it almost sounded like it might just be 2 barrels blended.
Okay, interesting. So it's almost like a single barrel.
Very, very small batches.
Interesting.
Double barrel. It tastes a little different than what I normally remember Eagle Rare tasting like. Again, maybe a little more acidic, not in a bad way. It's great. It's one of my favorite whiskeys ever, especially if you can buy the bottle for a retail price at $35. I mean, it just doesn't get any better than that.
Yeah.
Which is hard in Illinois. It's hard. In Texas, you can find it every now and then. Question. So MSRP is $35, which puts it, mid to low shelf in terms of price.
Yeah, for 10 freaking years.
$35 for Eagle Rare or $18 for Mellow Corn.
I would do. I am representing. I'm glad we have cameras, by the way. I am representing. I have my Mellow Corn hat.
No one can see your hat because you wear your headphones like a
rapper.
I was gonna say another word that started with R, but I don't want to offend anybody.
Like a homie.
There you go. Yeah, that's exactly.
So I forgot to talk about this hat last episode.
I'm pretty sure you talked about it a ton when we were down in Kentucky.
In Kentucky, we did. Yeah. Dang it. I don't remember that episode.
You weren't wearing it though.
I don't think I was.
No, but I remember him talking that he bought the Mellow Corn hat, and it was
about for like 5 minutes.
Yeah.
But you didn't like it enough to wear it.
I don't remember. Man, that day is a blur. I don't remember that day. We started with a freaking old fashioned at 8:30 in the morning.
What really got us was the flight at lunch when we had already had an old fashioned, a bunch of tastings at Bardstown, and then 5 2-ounce pours at lunch.
Oh yeah, that killed us.
Yeah,
that was so fun though. I really enjoyed that trip.
Yeah, that was fun.
So my Mellow Corn hat, I wear it very proudly. It's not ironically or sarcastically. It's truly because I love Mellow Corn.
You're not a Mellow Corn hipster.
I am a Mellow Corn hipster, I guess, maybe. So it's like the guys that wear Old Style or PBR hats.
Yeah.
They normally wear it ironically, and
you're a true believer.
I just love Mellow Corn. So the value for $18 is great. The value for $35 for Eagle Rare is just amazing, but it's hard to find.
Mm-hmm.
And if you do find it, they'll mark it up twice as much.
Oh, it's usually around $90 now.
Exactly. So like my friend Noah in Colorado, though, he's like, dude, you go to any store in Colorado and it's on the shelf for retail. I'm like, well, that sucks.
Yeah.
It's
just like, I don't know if it's, we're still trying to get to the bottom of why Illinois gets screwed.
Mm-hmm.
Why do you think?
So I think somebody in the government probably pissed off distributors, and then
no,
they're all like, "Screw you!"
That wouldn't happen in this state.
Not in Illinois.
No. Our politicians are all by the book.
It's probably what happened at some point. Regulations or something like they just got pissed and like, well, screw you.
I know it is more difficult to import liquor into Illinois than other states.
Yeah.
So it might just be not worth
all
the effort, for whatever distributors, or I don't know.
Yeah, no, that may very well be it, because it is hard. And again, if you go to Texas, you can find it every now and then. Not in all the stores, but like in Colorado, I mean, no, he's just like, dude, you go to any store, you go to a grocery store, you go to a liquor store, and they're on the shelf. It's like, well, that's good. Maybe when I move back to Texas, I will start finding them again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Export them.
Export to Illinois. Start a business.
Don't you have like 15 bottles of Eagle Rare already, though?
I gave a couple away, so I have like 12.
But you got the big boy.
I still have the 1.5 liters. Yes, so that's a good one. I love that bottle. I don't know if I'll
That's
ever
cool.
see another one again. I mean,
Yeah.
it was just beautiful. And this guy, well, it was my guy in Dallas, but he didn't call me or anything. He just had it on the shelf behind the counter, but on the shelf. And he wasn't even displaying it. He was like, he had it to sell. And I go, dude, where was my text? I just happened to be in there looking for stuff. And he was like, where's my texting? Because I didn't even think that you would want this. I'm like, oh, yes, I want it.
Obviously.
And he sold it to me for like 120 or something, which I was happy to pay for.
That's not that bad, though.
No, and he sold Eagle Rare pretty, like really reasonably. Eagle Rare, I think he sold them to me for like 50.
Okay.
Like,
yeah,
I'll take that. And this one was like 120. I was like, dude, I will buy it. Like, I will never see another one again.
Yeah.
So yeah, I have him, and that's why I'm not. I told Jake, Gold Eagle Jake, is there a ghost in here somewhere?
Dogs are wailing.
That I wasn't gonna open this one because it's a beautiful bottle. I don't know if the camera can see it. It's a 375 small Eagle Rare with a Gold Eagle seal on the right.
I think that works.
There you go. So I'm not gonna open it. I'm gonna save that as my memory from Gold Eagle.
Yeah, so now you got all 3 sizes of bottle.
Did you have Jake sign it?
I should have actually. Maybe I'll go back. Oh no, it's packed. Damn it. Yeah. Anyway, love this whiskey.
Yeah. I think to your point, I do get a little bit higher acidity in this than like in a normal pour of Eagle Rare. So I'm wondering, based on what they told us on the tours, maybe they have 2 different bottles or 2 different barrels designated for Eagle Rare. One's up on the top floor,
Yeah.
one's on the bottom floor. When they marry it, it comes out nice and
No, they said they didn't put all the good, the cheap stuff that goes up top because it ages quicker.
Yeah.
So they wouldn't have it up there.
Oh,
They would
yeah.
have them in different parts.
I guess that's
same,
true.
Probably same floor, different parts.
yeah,
Closer to the wall, farther away from the wall, things like that.
yeah, that could be.
Yeah.
I mean,
this
if
is
they're
still good.
blending 2 barrels, it's probably to even out.
Yeah.
I mean, I do like this flavor though. I don't think
I love
it's
this flavor. Yeah.
I don't think it's a negative.
No, I completely agree. It gives it a different tone.
Yeah, but you can tell it's still Eagle Rare.
You
but-
can tell. You can definitely get the tones and flavors from Eagle Rare. But the more I try, the more I see the difference. Eagle Rare is just the regular blended one is so smooth. It's just so smooth, and you don't taste any acidity. And this one does have some, which again to your point, not about it's just a different tone.
Yeah.
I get it like right by the lymph nodes, almost a little bit of a bite right there. On the front, on the front of the palate, the tongue, the mouth feel is all the same. It's just it seems like there's just a little bite, and not much of one, but there's just a little bit of flavor. But I mean, the front, just once it hits your tongue, it's Eagle Rare.
Yeah.
It feels so good. When it hits your lips, once it hits your lips, it's so good. This is Mash Bill 1, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Elmer is Mash Bill 2.
2.
I was asking because it reminds me a lot of Elmer T. Lee, because Elmer T. Lee's got that acidity that's kind of like a signature for Elmer T. Lee whiskey. It's a little acidic.
This does kind of taste like a sour mash.
Right?
Right, yeah.
Being a dick. He came back. They changed him in prison in Eastern Europe. He changed. Prisoner of war. You got PTSD and shit.
I mean, God, the PTSD you got. We walked through a World War I trench area.
Did you really?
And they had, they still had the mountain tunnels they dug through. And it was the front line between them and Italy. Because it was right in that area.
Yeah, wow.
Oh, yeah.
And it was just cold and rainy. Or it wasn't cold. It was just rainy that day. And the tunnels are only about 4.5 feet tall. And you're walking through these tunnels.
Yeah.
And it has like a creepy feeling as you're walking through them. And it's like, could you imagine being here during World War I with artillery shells?
How many people died in there?
Yeah.
Was that Austria-Hungary?
Yeah.
Damn.
Yep. And I mean, there was one area where there was a small sniper's nest, and they replaced the hatch, but there is the small little metal hatch
Yeah.
that they would have opened up just to stick their gun out and be able
Yeah.
to sight down.
Damn.
But they were on one mountain, and Italy was on the other mountain,
Oh wow.
and it was just the valley in between was the no
That
man's
is
land.
crazy.
Yeah.
But man, to think that back in the what was World War One, the 1910s?
Oh yeah, that's
Yeah.
good.
Isn't that right?
19
That was
it
certain
ended in
death.
1918.
Yeah,
That was certain death if you went to fight for those things. Jeez.
but
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's like it's interesting to see that there cuz like I don't even know what remnants are left in like Western Europe, probably none.
yeah,
But like, you know, most of the western part of Europe was just like flat land.
yep,
Yeah.
And like the trench warfare, you know, that everyone thinks of,
Yeah.
you know, for World War One.
Right.
But like mountain warfare
That's
that's
heavy.
got to be you're not really advancing much at
It's a
all. I
different
don't.
no, it was just that was their fortified positions. Like they
Yeah.
were there, and if anyone tried to go through the middle of that valley,
Maybe you're lobbing artillery back and forth.
yeah,
But
Yeah. Damn. That's heavy.
or
man.
newly invented airplanes.
yeah. I don't know if they
Yeah.
had them there because I mean Italy was so late to World War One.
Yeah, that's true.
Jeez.
They were
I know there was fighting in Italy with airplanes, but I don't know if it was in that area.
Yeah.
Our guide was telling us like all the stories as we were there and everything, and going back and forth, and how they were mad because Italy was neutral and they were so close to Italy, and then all of a sudden they joined on the other side, and they're talking about all this and how this, and I'm like, you're
As Italy joined the Allies, right?
yes,
So they got it right the first time, then they screwed it up the second time.
no, I'm sorry, Italy was on Germany's side the first time,
Yeah, they were all fascist.
In World War One?
yeah,
Oh, I thought they were on the.
nope,
I don't remember
But-
my history.
Well, then they wouldn't have been fighting each other. Austria-Hungary was on the German side.
And that was the second war.
yeah, they were with Russia on the first one, I think.
I think so
I don't.
too.
I'm pretty sure, yeah, because Italy, I think it was Italy and Germany. Were,
'Cause I thought Italy joined late on the Allied side, and that they were fighting with Austria-Hungary because it was a strategic, like flank position to come at them
but
from the
Austria-Hungary
south.
was separate from Germany.
Right, but they were on the same side. I'm pretty sure.
Mm.
Regardless, we'll figure that out. But he was talking about all these stories and about all World War One and everything, and I go, Robert, you're leaving out the most important part, because what's that? I'm like, then USA joined the war and it ended quick.
Yeah. Classic Dan.
Gotta rub it in
And
everyone's
then
faces.
yeah, it was our group was a lot of British people, so then I just started the USA, USA.
They loved it, I'm sure. That's
So you're
fun.
saying that they've finally gotten over the Revolutionary War?
Yeah.
Yeah, they played down the Revolutionary War, but again, that's because they got their asses kicked.
Now they have their special relationship with the U.S., so they can complain.
You're right,
Tell them to
Jake.
shut up.
Germany, Austria, and Hungary.
Okay.
Wow, good history lesson there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you were over there while the Queen passed away, right?
Yeah, well,
Or
the Queen-
just
she had passed away before I left, but yeah.
okay.
And all the British people were just making fun of everything.
Oh, they weren't as reverent as you would expect.
The one girl was mad because she was going to Croatia after Slovenia for a few days, and she was landing like super late Sunday night, and everything in the UK, like McDonald's closed down.
Yeah.
Like she's like, I have
They
no food.
cancel flights and
Well, they paused them. They didn't like. There was
Yeah.
like an hour delay on the airports.
Yeah.
They stopped all the trains,
dang, that's crazy.
and she's like, I have no food in my house when I get back. I don't know what I'm gonna do. Yeah, it was.
Mm.
They were just more or less making fun of everything. Like,
yeah, I feel like there's you know, like the royal loyalists,
Yeah.
and then
the
there's
ones that don't
people
give
who
a
are
shit.
like, why do we do this
It's like,
still?
can we get rid of this crap, please?
Someone asked me what my thoughts as an American were on Kate Middleton, and my response was who?
Yeah.
She's fine, I guess. Or like David Beckham, that he's a super loyalist and he stood in line for 24 hours or whatever it was to see the
coffin.
The coffin, yeah. Like, good for you.
I mean, like, when you're like is he knighted?
I don't know. I don't think he is. I don't think he is. That's a good point.
I'm not sure.
They
if he is
they
or not.
offered him. It was
I
like,
mean, he's like
they told him to skip everything, and he's like, nope, I'm staying.
he's
here.
one of like the biggest British
Oh yeah.
celebrities. So
Yeah.
I mean, like, I don't know if Elton John was there, but like,
Yeah, I'm sure he was.
I would think that like everyone that she knighted was
Right.
probably there, and like all
Yeah.
that stuff. If you're
Yeah.
a British celebrity and you don't go, they'd probably single you out and be like,
That was
why
what
weren't
we
you
read
there?
Yeah, he was. He was like all celebrities. They asked him if he wanted to skip the line and just go see it. He's like, no, because my grandfather would have been ashamed of me if I did that. He's like, that's.
I can
get
respect that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I get that. Especially, I mean, if you're from there, I don't give a shit because I'm not from there. But if you're
Well,
from
yeah.
there, like, all right, well, I guess I can see the history and the. I don't know. the
I
whole
had
thing
I
about
had a
Queen.
2-minute wait at Taco Bell today. And I was pissed off. I'm not going to stand in line for 2 days to see a goddamn coffin with a flag over it.
That's a really good point. No, pass. Yeah, I'll pass too.
That's
Taco Bell.
the one thing I do like about America is that we don't have that kind of crap.
Yeah, like aristocratic shit.
It's not like, I mean, like when who was the last president to pass away? Reagan?
No.
No.
Oh,
It was
George H.W. Bush.
Yes. Yeah. Good. Yeah.
And like, they do the thing in like the Capitol
Congress,
Rotunda
yeah.
and like, but it's not like
Yeah.
miles and miles of people waiting to
No.
go in there and
Yeah.
like,
not 24.
it's like
yeah.
it's on C-SPAN, and if you want to watch it
Yeah,
for like
yeah.
10 minutes, and
They're
be
great.
like, oh, okay.
Yeah, you say that until Trump's funeral.
27 hours.
Oh man. Well, it's like when Mao died in China, didn't they force like everyone who was like capable to like go there
go
and
see it,
like
yeah.
like
I think that's how it was in North Korea when what's his face died.
oh, Kim Jong
Kim Jong-un.
Il
Il.
Il
Yeah.
was the first one, right?
Yeah. Crazy bastards, man.
Yeah, it's
The best golf.
they
player in
said
the world.
who's the lady that escaped
From Korea.
from North Korea? She goes on like podcasts and talk about it.
Oh,
I can't
interesting.
remember what her name is. But she said that like when he died, she was very young, 'cause she's not that old right
Yeah.
now. But when he died, she said that everyone had to cry in public,
Oh,
and if you
geez.
didn't cry, they'd ship you off to a death camp.
Oh, my God.
And then like every year on the day he died, they like re-celebrate it, and everyone has to sit and cry and pretend like it's the worst day ever.
Hell's wrong
And
with
like
people, man.
if you don't do it, or if they don't think you're crying hard
Go to
enough,
death
off to a camp.
What is wrong with people?
Speaking about world leader stuff, I didn't go in it in Bled, but there's a church there and it's famous. And one of the guys in our tour went, or in our group went and took a picture of it. There's a famous mural of the Last Supper inside that church,
Mm.
Okay,
and
not the
It's-
Da Vinci one.
no, it's famous because there's Judas is walking away stealing the money.
Oh wow.
And they redid it so it's not Judas, it's got the face of Lenin
Oh shit.
on there.
Are you serious?
Yeah, so he had the picture, but instead of Judas sneaking away with the money, it's Lenin, and he
That's
took
funny.
a picture of it, and that's why it's very famous. It's a beautiful
weird.
mural, but
That's
yeah, it's Lenin
hilarious.
stealing the money.
So you're saying they're not super keen on communism over there?
No,
Yeah,
the
apparently.
interesting part. So he was born in '71, and they were still socialist. And he said he grew
the
up in
guy?
our guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, he said they grew up in like the block housing system and everything.
Yeah.
And he said it's very interesting right now because like his parents' generation with inflation, with everything up right now because of everything going on in the world. He said they're very upset about that, and they're saying they preferred
Yeah.
the socialism to what this is
The
right
bread
now
lines and
because they were guaranteed food, they were guaranteed housing, they were guaranteed a job.
Yeah. That's crazy.
And he's like I don't think they understand. For them as an older generation, it was familiar. It's what they
Yeah.
knew.
yeah.
He's like, obviously a lot of us, the majority of us,
That's not
don't
even
want
socialism. That's communism.
that.
Yeah.
But
Damn.
yeah, it was kind of funny when he like
That's
yeah.
crazy, man. Stupid people.
Yeah. Look at all that history we crammed into
is-
this
we should
episode.
rename this podcast. It's like History Matters.
History matters with guys that know jack shit about history.
They need to Google everything.
Yeah.
Who was the last U.S. president that died? We know our shit. Let me Google. History Matters.
I was
like
gonna
that.
say Jimmy Carter, but he's still alive.
He's still alive. He's like 100 years old, but he's
Yeah.
still alive.
Reagan, because Reagan died in the early 2000s.
Reagan died in the early
Then
2000s,
H.W. Bush died
like 5 years ago
Yeah,
or
not-
something. Not too long ago.
in like Obama's last year, I think, right?
Yeah.
In office.
Yeah.
Thanks, Obama.
Yeah. Actually, wait.
Because Trump wasn't
Trump
president
was
yet.
president.
I don't think he was.
I don't think he was either.
I think he was. Somebody Google it.
I don't think he
I
was.
think he was. I'm pretty sure it was.
Uh,
Somebody Google because
I'm working on it.
because I think
now I'm curious
think
because I don't remember him.
30th, 2018.
yeah, he was president. I remember
He would have been elected. He
Yeah.
wouldn't have taken office.
the only reason
No, he got
was-
elected in
was-
2016.
Yeah, he
Oh,
was,
yeah, yeah.
He's 2017.
So it was
Yeah.
2 years in.
And the only reason why I remember is because there was that big thing that the Obamas didn't speak to Trump because he was hosting, quote unquote, the funeral.
Yeah.
And the Obama sat like 2 seats over.
Yeah.
And Bush even sat like 4 seats over from nobody wanted to sit next to him. I remember that perfectly. And so, yeah,
Yeah. No, you're right.
history matters. On
Yeah.
Roberto PDL.
Our spinoff show
God.
coming soon.
This was good. Gold. I mean, this Eagle Rare was good. Again, it tastes different. It really did. It
Yeah.
tasted different, and not in a bad way, just a little different. I still enjoyed it a lot. I think this was.
Yeah. I
pretty
mean, it's cool to get the chance to do a single
Yeah.
barrel eagle.
good. Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
it's,
You don't get that chance very often, which is
Yeah.
pretty cool.
and I
like
think Jake at Gold Eagle does it like the best way, which is they just post it. And
Yeah.
it's like first come, first
Come
serve.
get it.
Not
No
holding
allocation.
anything.
Yeah,
One per person.
there's no list,
Yeah. Just get in there
Come
and get
get
it.
which is good and bad because if you're on a list, you know that at some point you're gonna get something. But if you're the way that he does it, you gotta keep an eye on Instagram, and you gotta keep an eye on Instagram, and if you miss it, you missed it.
Yeah.
Do you have to keep an eye on Instagram?
I
And
think
if
you have
you
to
missed
keep-
it, you missed it.
Well, you gotta keep 1 or 2, maybe.
I mean,
2 eyes.
it'd be nice if his favorite podcast was Saved Bottle, but
Yeah, I know. I know.
you got to be fair.
Save a couple for us. Yeah.
I just made a wild claim about.
I say I'm pretty sure that might not be the case. I don't know.
We never know. We don't disclose our secrets in this podcast.
As far as I know, we're the only podcast that shops there,
I think so. I think so too.
and
that
the only
goes to all
podcast
the-
that shops at Sam's.
and that goes to all
We,
the tastings.
I will take that claim as we're probably the only podcast that shops at Sam's.
Yeah. I don't think Marengo, Illinois has many podcasts based out of it. And if they do, it's like Farming 101.
Why you got to do that?
I don't know.
Why?
This is a silo. This is a grain
There aren't even
elevator.
Oh, there are farms on the way out
This
there.
is, what is the other one from the silo?
A silo bin.
There's a bin. There's a bin.
You got your harvestors.
There's a hardware store. Yeah. See? We should start another
Grain elevator.
grain podcast. Grains with Roberto PDL.
And is that
Just chewing
Yeah,
barley
just chewing fistfuls
Just
of
grabbing
barley.
handfuls of barley. Or
of
what is it,
raw
barley?
grains.
This is the stupidest episode we've done in a while.
Not wrong.
We have a special treat on this week's episode of Grains with Roberto. These are malted.
These are malted. Oh, I have never tried a raw malted barley grain.
It's probably
I
gross.
should probably start at some point. Probably tastes like alfalfa or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
How much alfalfa have you eaten in your life is the question.
I haven't eaten a lot. My mom used to give it to me a lot. I mean,
Did she do that just to get you to shut up?
I actually like it. Like we would have like balls of alfalfa, and I would put like lime juice on them and salt. It was great.
I could see that.
I love that. That was great.
Yeah.
Anyway, it was good.
I like it. I like some lime on a lot
Yeah.
of stuff.
I like lime.
Makes it
on
better.
Stuff. I found it in Mexico. The lime.
The lime.
All my followers were asking about it.
Well, speaking of followers, Roberto, good lead in there for a transition.
You can find this on the History Channel.
Well, no, it would be Comedy Central. We still should do a drunk history episode sometime on
Yeah,
here
we
now.
should.
We could, yeah.
That would be cool, but we should pick a topic that I know. I don't know anything about World War One. World War Two, I know something.
It should be something whiskey related.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Yeah.
We should all watch the
Whiskey
Prohibition.
Rebellion?
What if we talk
Or
about
Prohibition?
No,
Prohibition
That
would be a
would
good one.
Freaking solid.
Yeah.
That would be solid.
Yeah.
There's an idea.
Get drunk talking about not being able to get drunk.
You would just go to the doctor and prescribe whiskey.
And I was like, give it.
I still have a cough. Okay, that's fine. Instagram. If you want to go to Insta,
Yeah.
and follow us at Bourbon Matters. At Bourbon Matters is our account. We hit 630 something followers this week, which is amazing. We've grown this account 600, and I said 600 because 35 was on the first day with all our friends that clicked follow.
You also said we've had anything to do with that. I think it's
in generation. But yeah, a lot of followers, good content, good reels. We have pictures from the trip to the Bourbon Trail a few weeks back. We have good stuff. We normally talk about Gold Eagle and or Sam on our account. Get familiar with Sam. He's a good guy. Go see him. And then Facebook's got the same handle, Bourbon Matters on Facebook. It's our birthday soon, so make sure you click like on the birthday. Do they do birthday for accounts? I don't know. I don't think they do.
I have no idea.
So stupid. I have no idea what I'm saying. Man. I haven't slept in 2 weeks.
It's not even close. Like it's after the first of the year sometime, I think.
Yeah.
It's almost there. September. We have like
Yeah, we're through the third
It
quarter.
was like mid-January that we started the
Yeah.
show.
and then bourbonmatterspodcast.com is the website. I think it's still up to date.
Mm-hmm.
That's good. And that's where you can find us. But then we're also on the podcasts.
Yes, you can basically find us anywhere important that you listen to podcasts. And then you can watch us on YouTube. If you're just listening, we got a multicam set up now. So you can see all three of our beautiful faces without looking at how fat we all are. So
you can
that's
still
nice.
easily tell that we're all fat. Like let's not bury the lead.
It's a little. The video is a little bit more palatable now. Then I'm hoping we'll be able to get like a producer to come in and do the actual like scene changes for us as we talk.
Yeah.
But so far my calls have gone unanswered. So we'll see.
That would be cool if we had a producer doing the toggling and the switching.
Yeah. Because I don't want to have to be the one to do it.
No. Nobody wants to do it.
Give me a button right here, and I'll just sit here and go like this.
Bam.
It's just going to be on Dan the whole time.
I know. Yeah.
There's gonna be so many crotch shots.
Crotch cam.
I don't think you can do it with the camera. Anyway, that was fun.
All right. So coming up for the month of October, we have a special bracket. This one we are calling the Hunt for Old Elktober.
Dude,
We have
I'm
10.
so smart. I come up with the smartest names.
We have 10 different expressions of Old Elk that will be going head to head until we find a champion. We'll go through all of them, in the first episode, but and we'll have the bracket posted before and then after, I think, each episode. So be on the lookout for that. We're also going to be starting our unicorn bottle series.
Yeah.
So we'll be doing short reviews and discussions about some unicorn bottles. Since Roberto's going to be moving back to Texas, some of them might be with just Roberto. Some of them might be just Dan or just me or
Yeah.
all three of us, if we can all have the same thing at the same time.
Yeah.
But yeah, we'll start doing some like unicorn reviews because God knows we've got enough bottles now that we can
Quite a few.
we can do it.
I just packed
Wait.
215.
Unicorns are real?
Maybe.
In whiskey they are.
Oh, maybe. I just packed 215 bottles of whiskey. Getting ready to put them in the truck. Dang, that's a lot of whiskey.
Yeah,
little boxes.
that's a lot.
Shout out to Gold
So you
Eagle
did full
who gave me-
inventory.
Yeah. Shout out to Gold Eagle who gave me like 40 boxes of liquor empty so I could pack my bottles. It worked out.
Jesus.
I know.
All right.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right. Well, Roberto just dropped his phone, so I think that means it's the end of the episode.
Cheers to the Gold Eagle Rare.
Cheers.